Alright, so Morsha and I got to go to a special advanced screening of The Strangers 2, Pray at Night. Now, unfortunately, she could not be here to let you in on her perspective. Fortunately, we had similar ideas about the film. What were they? Well, here we go. Alright, I gotta let everybody know right up front, this is gonna be a spoiler-filled review, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, go ahead and check it out, and come on back. Alright, you're here, so, just so we're on the same page, pretty much, we've got a family that is taking their daughter to be dropped off at a boarding school for, shall we say, undisclosed reasons. And take a little stop off in a trailer park, of which the strangers have decided to occupy, and hilarity ensues. Alright, likes is where we start as usual, and this one, this was interesting from the standpoint that early on in the film, there were things that I liked that were completely decimated at the end of the movie. So, is that a like? I don't know. I mean, generally speaking, when we get on here and we talk and we say, you know, this was good, it's just good. It's not like, well, it started out as good and then it got destroyed. So, you know, for example, just so we're kind of, you know, all on the same page here, they did a very, very good job early on of establishing the two teenage kids. The guy's 18. They never state the girl, but I guess she's maybe like 16 or so. As, you know, moody, unruly, you know-it-all, you know, phone-obsessed teenagers that have this tough exterior. And then as soon as the shit hits the fan, they crumble. And that was good, because that's very accurate. That's very real life. That was destroyed at the end. Also, on a side note, you know, there's a sort of a misconception in our world that, you know, as soon as someone picks up a gun, it's the movies, and they just indiscriminately kill people without, you know, thought, feeling, or remorse. And of course, reality is not like that. So again, early on in the movie, the young boy is, you know, faced with the prospect of gunning down, you know, one of the strangers, and he can't. It makes sense. He's 18 years old. He's scared. He's never done anything like that before. The weight of taking a person's life is weighing on it. So, again, that was very well destroyed at the end of the movie. So, again, I can't really point out anything that I liked about the book. Okay, wait a minute, I take that back. There was one thing, and it was actually, it was Morsha who reminded me of this, you know, after we had seen the movie. One of the things that we did both like was the fact that they did a tremendous job of establishing an insanely eerie presence throughout that mobile home park. The fog machines were kicking it on the set, there's no doubt about that, but it worked. You know, it seemed like a very, very terrifying place, regardless of where you're at. The fog gave you that sort of effect of not really being able to establish landmarks. All the trailers kind of looked the same. I mean, this was all done intentionally, and it was very effective. So there you go. I've got one like, and that was it. Okay, it's dislikes time. So, boom, here we go. Right off the bat, I gotta say, this was the most PG-13 R-rated horror movie I have seen in quite some time. It's rated R. So, okay, you don't have to be Saw or Hostel or a Serbian film, but you can at least, you know, show us some things. You can tackle some adult concepts. You know, they have the father trapped. He's got, you know, he's been, some wooden thing has trapped him in his car, and then the stranger father gets into the car and he kills him with an ice pick underneath the throat, and there's some blood. Okay? Well, stabbing him in the eyes a few dozen times. I mean, hello. You know, I hate frickin' eyes, but at least I'll accept that. They never, ever, ever, ever say what this girl did that was so horrible that she has to be sent off to boarding school. I mean, it sounded like she was a normal teenage kid. You know, tackle it. Say that she, you know, beat the shit out of some kids. Say that she, you know, killing birds. I mean, you know, deal with something a little bit not, you know, safe. One or two scenes of mild gore, you know, nothing outrageous. Most of the kills were like stabbings with knives and lots of blood. You know, that's not rated R, okay? But, whatever. Then, the big one, which is what I alluded to in the likes, was that it almost seemed like this was written by two different people. Because the beginning started out strong. It started out solid. They were, you know, da-da-da. And then about a halfway through, you know, actually, I was sitting there and Marcia leaned over and she said, you know, it just got stupid. And she's right. It did. I mean, you know, they just went off the rails. And not stupid good, like stupid bad. Like, the biggest offense for me, the one that almost had me just like, this is, I'm done, is you know, again, I had said earlier that, you know, human beings will not just indiscriminately kill despite what everyone thinks and everything else. And so they have a nice little scene where you know, the teenage girl is trapped in the car. She's got the policeman's shotgun, and then the stranger baby doll in front of her. And in that instance, I believe that she would, in a panic mode and as a fight or flight response, pull the trigger and shoot the girl. Now, of course, point blank with a shotgun, that girl would be dead, but we have to have this little scene where she's not dead. Again, rated R movie. You don't even see a wound on her chest, for Christ's sakes. Barely see her chest. And then you get the treat of the girl getting out of the car, holding the gun, a shotgun at point blank range and blowing her away, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Totally out of character for like a little, you know, 16-year-old girl. And trust me, I've had conversations a million times. They're like, oh, well, you know, she was pushed to her limits and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. You know, when you're pushed to your limits, you know, you pull the trigger to defend yourself. You don't just now become Rambo, okay? You know, you don't. The other thing was, beyond stupid, was the supernatural ability of the strangers to pop up in the exact spot that the family are running to after they had just ran away from them. I mean, it was a regular, you know, Pepe Le Pew cartoon. It was so ridiculous. I mean, you know, they just, magic. Oh, look, there she is again. Oh, look, there he is. It was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, insultingly bad. And then another huge dislike was the fake finish. The fake finish is the worst. I mean, it's almost like verboten amongst good writers. It really is. And so in this movie, you talk about spoilers, okay. I think I counted 5. I think that the father attempts to run over the teenage girl with the car, and it gets stuck when the gas is leaking, and she just happens to have a lighter handy. Yes, it is established that she had been smoking earlier, but who cares? Blows it up, he's dead, right? No, then he starts driving the car after her, so he's not dead. That's ridiculous. Then he gets out of the car and dies in front of her. That's 2. And then she, you know, basically, you know, flags down a car, and he's still alive. And she, you know, hits him with a baseball bat that magically was in the back of the truck. That's the third fake finish. You know, and then you've got, like, her, you know, driving off, having survived. That's actually a finish. That should have been the end of the movie. And then you have her in the hospital with the door knocking that we're supposed to think is him, you know, the stranger dad. Even though it's in a hospital and it could just as easily be a doctor. I don't know. So, you know, 5 fake finishes, ridiculous, insulting, and completely unnecessary. I mean, dear God, after he's been blown up, he's done. He's done. I mean, you know, come on. These are not supposed to be supernatural, you know, beings, at least as far as we know. And then to tie it all up, the choice to kill them all was very, very bad. Like, you know, we don't really. It's not like. I mean, okay. I'm flabbergasted because I just recalled that at the advanced screening there were a very large number of non-horror fans. Okay, the casual fans. And it just dawned on me that they were actually cheering when the strangers got killed. So clearly this was not speaking to me. Okay, it was clearly speaking to them, but it was not speaking to me. I was like, oh, you don't kill them. However, there was one big, huge mistake in the stranger's death that even the audience, the general audience, did not like. And that was the unmasking. Yeah. And, you know, as a basic tenet of psychology, and if you really want to know why, for example, the Joker is the scariest villain of all time, is that we have within us as a human species an innate disdain, incomprehensibility, fear, distrust, whatever you want to call it, of chaos. We need to have reasons for things. And this is why conspiracy theories exist, because oftentimes there is no reason. And when you present something that has no reason in a horror movie, it amplifies the terror. We should not have a reason that the strangers are killing. We should not know what they look like. Now, real quick, you'll say, well, Dante, they gave the reason. And the reason was, why not? That's not a reason. Don't even get me started. Tying into that, though, and it's the last thing I'm going to say, because I'm droning on and on here, is that there's a reason there's masks in horror movies. A psychological reason. It's very well known. And it's because it allows the audience to project on to that mask the visage of whatever human has been the most terrifying to them or the worst to them, etc., etc. As soon as you take the mask off and you just show, you know, hot little girl that could have been like generic, you know, cheerleader number 3 in any other movie, it completely ruins the image, the illusion. It's ridiculous. It absolutely ruined it. So, again, you know, I could go on and on and on, but those are kind of the big things on a big, you know, conceptual level that really just nailed the coffin shut. All right, it's Pinhead time. Oof, this was a rough one. As you can tell, the likes were almost not-existent. I mean, atmosphere for the trailer park, you know, I gotta give something to that. So, for that, I'm gonna give 1/2 of a Pinhead. I'm the only one reviewing, so this is a half a Pinhead movie. Well, I found it strange that they made all these strange decisions of what to do with the strangers, and the strange reason the family was there to begin with, and the strange circumstances they killed them. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Plus, always, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you know, to sum up, the strangers pray at night, you know, the whole thing was just odd.